I've been getting a lot of questions on my hammock videos about ridgelines, and a lot of personal messages with people asking me to do a video to explain them a little bit better. So today I'm going to do my best and try to answer most of those questions. A ridgeline is basically just the length of cord that attaches one end of the hammock to the other end of the hammock. The question I get most often is, do I need a ridgeline? And the answer is very simple, no, you don't need one. The next obvious question is, if you don't need a ridgeline, what does it actually do? Well, a ridgeline keeps this point and this point the right distance apart, so you get a nice sag in the hammock here. That way you can lay nice and flat. For the ridgeline I use a 2.75 millimeter cord. It's got a lifting load of 300 pounds, and it's also got little reflectors in there, so at nighttime if you got your headlamp on or whatever, you can see this at night. There's two basic types of ridgelines, a permanent ridgeline and an adjustable ridgeline. A permanent ridgeline is just that. It stays fixed to the hammock and it's usually tied in with the suspension system. I use an adjustable ridgeline mainly because when I'm not using the hammock, I got 15 feet of spare cordage that I could use for something else. And it's always good to have a multi-use item. It's always good to have spare cordage. On the foot end of the hammock, what I basically do is tie a loop around the suspension system. I like to use a bowline knot, mainly because it's a very strong knot and it's also easy to break when you want to go to untie it. On the other end of the hammock, I go around the suspension and I tie a taut line hitch. That way it's easy to adjust. The right amount of sag in your hammock is important. That way you can lay nice and flat and diagonal in the hammock. So making sure that you have the right length ridgeline is very important. Now the length of your ridgeline is going to vary between hammocks. A lot of people say 80 to 85% of the length of the hammock should be the length of the ridgeline. And you've heard me talk about like my Eno single nest where, you know, the Ridgeline's around 100 inches. I don't measure it each time. I basically get in the hammock and I adjust it to what's most comfortable, and that's where I leave the length of the Ridgeline. Another reason why I use a Ridgeline, hold up the bug netting. This way it keeps the bug netting off your face, especially if you're backpacking. You're going to want to have some type of bug protection or bug screen, and a Ridgeline is a very simple and effective way of keeping it up off your face. Another advantage of having a Ridgeline is you can hang some stuff off it. It's a good place for storage. Put an accessory pack up here, put your MP3 player in there for nighttime. I like to hang a flashlight off of here. You can also dry your socks out, you know, from a long day of hiking. It's just another place to store stuff up off the ground, and it's easy to find. So for the most part, I would say I only use the Ridgeline when I'm backpacking. When I take the hammock out for a day hike or whatever, I won't bring a Ridgeline along. I hope I answered most of your questions. I'm pretty sure I forgot some of them. So just go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Alright guys, catch you on the next one.